In a perfect world, insurance companies would always do the right thing. Yet in reality, the industry harbors a dirty little secret. People are giving them money for something they will never receive. What that really means is they're selling uncollectible insurance. Insurance companies rule our country. They control our banking. Look at AIG, too big to fail. They own Wall Street. They catch a virus, and Wall Street has diarrhea for a week. And when interest rates fall and their investment earnings plummet, they run to Congress and scream tort reform. Lawsuits are killing us, they scream, and those greedy trial lawyers are to blame by filing frivolous lawsuits and convincing ignorant juries to dole out obscene verdicts. But ironically, what you don't know until now is that insurance companies regularly and deliberately invite lawsuits whenever the cost and hassles for a third-party claimant looks to exceed all potential for recovery, rather than just doing the right thing. Too many insurers prefer to play a game of litigation chicken, a frivolous lawsuit strategy in reverse. You don't like it? Sue me. And while insurance companies play rough with consumers, they play even rougher with each other. Take the process of subrogation, for example. Here you have one insurance company making a claim against another. Rather than the sue me response, the greeting afforded a subrogation claim usually starts with a two-word expletive. Still, that does not make this game right, whether played against consumers or other insurance companies. A dollar saved owing only to a claimant's sense of pragmatism and a threshold for litigation is not a dollar earned in any traditional sense. It's more like a dollar stolen, and it happens all the time. In this insider exclusive investigative TV special, our news team goes behind the headlines in American Family Insurance, Megan Fox's and Katlyn Tonn's story. To examine how Vance Jorgensen at Vance Jorgensen Law Firm is getting justice for his client Megan in a grueling legal battle against one of America's major insurance companies, American Family Insurance, in a story they don't want you to know. Here's an actual publicly broadcast American Family Insurance TV commercial about how they say they'll take care of you. And it's provided under the Fair Use Sections Copyright Act of 1976, Section 17.
Since the dawn of time, people have needed people. The personal connection, the shoulder to lean on. That is our role. To deliver more than just a policy on a piece of paper. To deliver peace of mind. Because we are family. American family. And like family, we grow stronger each day with the constant promise to always be fair, helpful, and caring. Doing whatever we can to make things easier. Striving to keep our promises. This is what we do for our clients. We get to know them like family, because that's who we are. American Family Insurance.
But American Family Insurance promises did not hold true for Megan and Katlyn. And it's a story American Family Insurance does not really want you to know. Today, the Insider Exclusive News Team visits with Vance Jorgensen and Megan Fox in Mason City, Iowa, as he explains how he took on American Family Insurance and is getting justice for Megan, and how he taught American Family Insurance the real meaning of real shoulders to lean on, delivering much more than a policy and peace of mind, being truly helpful and caring, and especially keeping their promises. Vance Jorgensen fights to get justice for his clients against the insurance industry. He has seen many innocent and hardworking people suffer at the hands of their own insurance companies, and because of that, he is driven not only to get justice for these victims of injustice, but to make sure that all policyholders get 100% of what their insurance companies promised and what they paid for. Plus, get it without hassle and on time. This is the Insider Exclusive, live from Mason City, Iowa. It's my great pleasure to introduce Vance Jorgensen to the show. Welcome to the show, Vance.
Thank you, Steve.
Tell our audience a little bit about your practice.
Steve, for over 25 years now, I've really dedicated my practice, what I do, to representing real people. I've just set aside the business interests, the corporations, and trying to do justice for regular people that have problems, typically with insurance companies.
Yeah, now today we are discussing specifically a case of bad faith insurance. The culprit was American Family Insurance, and your client was Megan Fox. Who is Megan Fox?
Megan Fox is a single mom, hard-working mom. At that time was working at the funeral home, and would have multiple roles in the funeral home, whether it's going to pick up someone who departed or at the visitation, what have you. And a day came that she hoped would never come when her daughter Katlyn was really badly hurt on an ATV that the driver had no insurance.
Yeah, and she had had insurance with American Family Insurance. Her parents had had American Family Insurance.
They had American Family for as long as they could remember.
So they were firm believers in American Family Insurance until?
Well, Megan thought there'd be no problem. First of all, she didn't realize that she would ever have to use her insurance. But when she found out that the young fellow who was driving the ATV had no insurance, had no means to meet his financial responsibility, I said, well, there's good news. You have uninsured motorist coverage with your own company, and this should be a much easier road. And she was happy.
Yeah. But that didn't happen, did it?
You know, it didn't happen.
What happened?
Well, they didn't. They not only did not pay the claim, they denied that there was coverage.
So this is kind of amazing, you know. In her policy, it says that she does have coverage, and yet the insurance company is saying, you're not covered. Why would they do that? Why would any insurance company do that?
Well, you know, we had a trial about that,
yeah.
And there were many excuses that were brought up. Mm-hmm. And what we found out later on, and by the way, we didn't know this at first. I had written to American Family for Megan and Katlyn, her daughter, laying out the facts and circumstances.
Right.
Really laid out everything that they needed on a silver platter. Laid out the section of their policy, the case law, the facts and circumstances, showed that this had happened on a public road, showed that their policy had the coverage, and then we got a letter back, the reservation of rights letter, saying that they were going to investigate and they were going to do all these things. Come to find out, Steve, they didn't investigate at all. They didn't take one recorded statement, not in the whole time.
Mm. And they denied her claim a number of times, correct?
They denied the claim on coverage. They said there's no coverage, and of course that was astounding. And Megan is humble. She's not one of these suit-happy people.
Right.
She really believed that they would do the right thing, that they would eventually see the light and they would come through. But that didn't happen, so we waited 2.5 months from after they sent their final denial letter.
Right. And her daughter was seriously injured, so the medical bills were piling up, weren't they?
Well, they were, and the pity there is she had the coverage,
yeah.
But it wound up they had to go to the state of Iowa and have the state of Iowa cover the bills,
right.
Which is something that she never wanted to have happen.
So and I want to bring up this name of the insurance company again, American Family Insurance. Like a lot of insurance companies, and this is an important question, I talk to a lot of people, and they say, I've got State Farm, I have Allstate, I have it, and they always pay my claims. Is it, in this particular case they didn't, is it just the random bad luck that a claim comes in, and the claims adjuster or the office, because they want to make more profit for the year, they just happen to pick that case and deny it, and hopefully, and hoping that the people go away? Is that what happens?
Well, Steve, we would hope that that's what happened, but when you do a little digging in fact, any person on planet Earth that has an internet connection can go on American Family's website, and there's a section there under their careers section about pay, and their goals are simple. According to their website, they pay their employees, their associates, who help achieve company goals.
And those goals are to make as much money as possible.
Well, it would sure seem that way.
Yeah.
Come to find out that they have some very specific goals for various states on what they pay in terms of a percentage compared to their competitors in various states.
Yeah. So in other words, the less claims they pay, the more money the individual employees make.
We found...
What is that called, by the way?
They call it Corporate Incentive Program, and also there's another name that we found called Pay for Performance.
Yeah.
And we found, and apparently the jury found, a correlation between denying claims and the pay for performance or bonuses that their people receive.
Right. Now, what was the result of this case? And it's still ongoing, but
it's ongoing on appeal at this point for certain parts. But in terms of what our jury did right here, the jury found that American Family was liable for the tort of bad faith, and they also found that American Family's actions or failure to step up to the plate in this claim amounted to willful and wanton conduct.
Okay. In cases like this, then the jury decides how much money, correct?
Yes.
Your client receives once they make that finding, correct?
Yes.
But this is a little unusual case, and it's on appeal. Tell us what is on appeal and what happened and why.
Well, first of all, every issue in this case that was submitted to the jury by the judge, we won on every single issue that the jury could decide on.
Yes.
And unfortunately, and by the way, when I say this, I both like and respect our trial judge very much, but he made a decision not to submit the line for the jury to state the amount of punitive damages that would be awarded, and that's on appeal.
Yeah, and punitive damages is the punishment that is awarded against the defendant, in this case the insurance company, as a lesson for them not to treat the rest of society in the manner they treated your client, correct?
The goal is not to make a person who is suing wealthy. The goal is to try to correct behavior, corporate behavior, that needs to be straightened out.
Now, is it unusual that the judge wouldn't allow the jury to determine that?
I think it is. Again, I respect our judge, but again, it's possible that a judge and a lawyer can have a difference of opinion.
And that is on appeal right now?
It is.
How long, when do you expect some sort of resolution? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. But their medical bills were paid, correct?
Medical bills were paid.
Yes.
Of course, the state of Iowa needed to be paid back, and that happened.
Yeah.
There was a settlement before trial of the actual claim for Katlyn Tonn's injury. And so that did happen. What happened, American Family asked the court to actually make this whole case longer. They asked the judge to separate the contract case, the case for the actual claim itself and the amount of that claim, from the bad faith case, and the judge did that.
Yeah.
So essentially we had two trials. Yeah. Well, you know, that makes things a lot longer.
It makes it harder for you. It makes it longer for the client.
It makes it harder for my client.
But they had an objective in mind, and I call this dirty pool, okay? Their objective was that if they lost, you know, on the contract, then when they had another trial based on the bad faith, their defense would be what?
Oh, well, we've already paid the claim.
Yeah, why should she get any more money? correct?
And that's what happened.
Right. Today we are fortunate to have Megan and her daughter Katlyn with us, so let's bring her on right now.
Sure enough.
It's my great pleasure to introduce Megan Fox to the show. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Thank you.
Tell our audience, what do you think of American Family Insurance?
Well, I've had them for quite some time, all my life, you know, since this accident happened. I don't like them. I mean, I'll never go back to them again.
What was your immediate reaction when you found out that they were not going to cover the injuries that you thought and you knew were covered by your policy, when they just flatly said no and they continued to say no? What did you think about them?
Well, my thoughts were kind of the,
What I pay for?
well, what did I pay for? What have I been paying for? And the stutter of, well, what do you do now?
Yeah.
Well,
You got to get a good
what?
lawyer, right?
Right.
You've been through hell and back in this. How long has this taken, Vance, this case?
Oh, this
It's still ongoing. It's still ongoing.
Yeah, but it's
we're on
taken
appeal now.
how long? How many years?
Oh, well, we started out in 2010,
Okay.
and here we
So
are.
there's 4 years, almost 5 years. It's still going on. What do you think about the legal system and the justice system that we have in America?
Well, that, I think, I believe in the legal system and the justice system.
But it does take a long time, doesn't it?
It does.
And unfortunately, the other side, as you well know and you've seen, can employ a lot of dirty tricks and strategies to try to drag things out. And they do that in insurance cases often because, hey, you know, if they don't have to pay the money now, they can invest it doing something else, right?
Well, in this case, American Family asked for 2 trials, not just one. So, and of course, that makes things longer, makes things tougher on folks just like Megan.
Yeah. When folks are in accidents, they have problems, there are a lot of lawyers out there that people can call on. You never know what you're going to get until you're fully immersed in the case. What is your opinion of Vance's firm?
He was everything to us.
Yeah.
He was our savior and what to do and everything and help us out.
I understand your daughter Katlyn is here today. Let's bring her on. It is my great pleasure to introduce Katlyn to the show. Welcome to the show, Katlyn.
Hi.
You've gone through a horrible experience, haven't you?
Yeah.
You were injured on the ATV, correct?
Yeah.
Seriously, right?
Yeah.
Now, over a long period of time, you've seen this insurance company, which you no longer are insured with, right? American Family
No.
Insurance. You've seen that some insurance companies don't honor their contract, correct?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't think it's right for them to do that.
Yeah. What do you think should be done to them? I mean, they're obviously, and they did pay the claim, you know, the medical bills, but we have, you know, in the legal world, a thing called punitive damages where you punish somebody, correct? You punish a corporation so they don't do this to somebody else, because otherwise how are they going to learn, right?
Right.
What do you think should be done against American Family Insurance?
I just think they should be like exposed to like and say that they did that and they don't do what they're gonna say they do.
Yeah. You're on national TV right now. What do you have to say about your whole experience through this horrible ordeal?
It was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary in what regard?
Just like everything that happened and how it happened, I guess.
Okay. Well, you're doing well today, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad to see that. And I want to thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with us. Thank you. Vance, tell our audience how you select your clients in your cases. You got a lot of people call you, but what is the determining factor here?
I can't represent everyone, so I try to decide what cases really are crying out for justice, and is there something about the case that matches with things that I'm interested in, which of course is making sure that insurance companies don't welch on the bet and fairly pay the claim that they promised to pay. So that's a huge thing. And you know, above all, the claim has to have merit. You know, we hear so much about people filing frivolous lawsuits, and I don't want any part of that. Frankly, I don't see much of it here in this part of the country.
Yeah.
And what I do see a lot of is a lot of frivolous defenses.
Yes, that's a very good, I like that phrase. I'm going to use it from now on. Thank you. Thank you for being on our show. You've really added a lot of insight in this case as well as other cases. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks for joining us. You can get more information about our guest and the issues at insiderexclusive.com.